Guys, I got a great video for you today. I'm going to walk you through how Elon Musk was able, over the space of literally a couple of decades, build up a portfolio of business assets worth over $1 trillion, okay? Which is highly unusual. It's something that hardly anybody on the planet has been able to do. Yet one guy was able to build not just one business, but multiple groundbreaking businesses. And the total value of these businesses is worth over $1 trillion. So how was one guy able to do this? And I'm actually gonna reveal later on in this video the one most important asset, the one most valuable asset out of all the assets that he was able to build, and how this one most important, most valuable asset was actually the key to getting all of this done. So if you are in business at all and you want to build a big business for yourself, you better pay attention, because we're talking about Elon Musk. And Elon Musk has become, more than just a businessman. He's become a legend, right? This is a guy that presidents listen to. He's been tight, I think, with President Barack Obama. He's been big in the clean energy, renewable energy space. And some of his businesses, like with Solar City and him being able to go into renewables, the way he went into like electrifying homes with solar power that was clean and affordable and easy to use. The way he went deep into the car industry to provide electricity powered electric vehicles. And the way that he has come out with just a lot of groundbreaking technologies. He's not afraid to think big. So let's look at how he actually got started, because he actually got started building a startup. I believe he was thinking about doing like a graduate degree or something like that. And he and his brother actually started a startup company instead, right? Like, so if you've been thinking about doing a startup, um, just on the web, that's where a lot of people get their start. And that's literally how Elon Musk got started as well. It was him and his brother. They were actually doing like a fintech, financial technology startup. And the whole idea was to innovate in the financial space and leverage the internet, which was a new medium back in those days. And what they founded later actually became PayPal. They merged with another startup led by Peter Thiel and some other dudes, and what they built was what became known as PayPal. And it was actually facilitating peer-to-peer payments through email, basically through email. And this was groundbreaking back then, because you have to remember, in the early days of the web, none of this technology existed, and so PayPal was actually a groundbreaking technology to be able to facilitate that movement of money. And that became a big success, was later bought out by eBay, I believe, for probably a billion or a couple $1 billion. This was back in the day. The company would probably be worth a lot more than that 2 billion or whatever they got. But they, due to circumstances, they didn't really believe that they would be able to keep operating the company profitably for a long time on their own. And so the executive team made the decision that, hey, it's better to sell out to eBay right now whilst we got something valuable, because if we keep going, our company might crash. And so they actually sold out, and eBay bought them. And the company has become much more valuable, like way beyond that since. So you make the call, but that's how they got their start. So Elon made some money with that, but he wasn't satisfied. Obviously, he wasn't like, that's it, I'm done, I'm gonna retire, go play golf every day of the year now, or go relax on the beach. Like, that wasn't his style. And so he actually came out with two new startups, two new companies. And these were Tesla, a car company, and SpaceX, which was humongous, to say a humongous idea, to say the least, because I mean, you need a lot of capital to do space exploration and space travel, let alone to provide those services to the government. Your stuff has to be really good, right? Because you're going up against NASA, you're going up against space agencies from governments around the world, and so you're playing literally with the sharks, with the whales, actually, because these are really massive government agencies with humongous budgets. And how are you gonna be able to provide any kind of worthwhile service that would compete with those kinds of agencies? But Elon Musk was undeterred, right? And so he came out with SpaceX. This was really a business to make space travel, space exploration, all those services that go into that, to make them more efficient, faster, quicker, safer, cheaper, and better for primarily the US government. But I would imagine at this point that that service has probably been leveraged by more than just the US government. It's probably been leveraged by other governments, as well as a lot of other corporations and companies that have a need for like a satellite technology, that want to launch a satellite, and so they can leverage some of the infrastructure that Elon Musk was able to build with SpaceX. Like that became a really big, massive business, and it's actually valued at, I believe it's valued at somewhere north of $200 billion today. You're talking really big business. This is not even his main business or his biggest business. It's one of them, but it's not even the biggest one. This is just one of them. At this point, probably valued at, way more than 200, not million, $1 billion. So that's a huge success. So you look at PayPal, $1 billion, $2 billion back then, long time ago. SpaceX now, 200 something $billion. Like, that's massive. But it's not even the biggest business. So the other business that became even bigger was Tesla. And Tesla, as we all know, it's an electric car company, and very popular with young people today, because it's all about being environmentally conscious, eco-friendly consumers, that kind of thing. And so it's got a lot of super fans that want to drive nothing but Tesla, are willing to put up with the inconveniences of, like, maybe you don't have a charging station nearby and you have to travel a long way to get a charge. They're willing to put up with that. Maybe you have to wait on a wait list to get a Tesla, the new model, when it comes out, because supply can't keep up with demand. But super fans, they're willing to put up with that. So when you build a powerful brand, you can you get those kinds of loyal fans. And Tesla is probably one of the most powerful brands on the planet in that respect. You see this also with like Apple and the iPhone. They got a lot of super fans, diehard fans that love the product so much they are willing to queue up for a long time, maybe days if they have to, in order to get a crack at the new product from Apple. So that's just that's just incredible. And if you are launching and marketing a product and a brand, by the way, you want to build that kind of brand image, brand aura, that kind of brand, a desirable brand that your fans really love, right? Like, that's the goal, guys. Like, that's what you want to aim for. So Tesla became so powerful a brand, so successful, and today it's valued at over $800 billion. You add it up with SpaceX, you add it up with SolarCity, you add it up with Twitter X that Elon Musk also went ahead and bought. You add up everything that he's got in his portfolio, all those businesses, well over $1 trillion. And it's incredible to think that one guy was able to do this. But none of those individual companies were actually the single most important asset that Elon Musk built, which made everything else possible, because you didn't have those brands and those companies to begin with. So what was the brand that he actually built up over the years that made him able to do all these things? And that one most valuable, most important brand thing that he came out with, the most important asset that he built, was none of these actual brand companies, the thing that made it all possible. It was actually his own personal brand. When you look at Elon's personal brand, it's really incredible. He's the #1 followed person on Twitter. He's got like 185 million followers, which is incredible. For comparison, Mr. Beast, who is possibly the biggest personal brand on the internet, right? Bigger than the Kardashians, bigger than, The Rock, bigger than Kanye West, bigger than, you name the celebrity, Mr. Beast is bigger than, all these guys on the internet as a personal brand. But for comparison, Mr. Beast on Twitter only has 30 million followers, which is huge by the way. That's like one of the most followed channels on Twitter is the Mr. Beast Twitter. But it pales in comparison with Elon Musk, 185 million followers on Twitter. So when Elon Musk speaks, the world listens, right? Like literally, like there are people tuning in from everywhere around the world when Elon Musk is tweeting and sharing and updating. But you look back over the years, you see his personal brand has been built on showing a passion for technology, on being visionary about the future of humanity, and creating alternative technologies for cars, for clean energy, alternative technologies for human space civilization. This is the kind of stuff that he's built up as stories around his personal brand, and that really resonates with a lot of people, especially young people that are more tuned into technology. And he's also built his personal brand by being associated with presidents, like we talked about, the Obama administration, as well as also being associated with during the Trump years, probably more so after the Trump years, the Trump administration, and being influential even in the Biden administration. So he somehow managed to associate himself with presidents and presidential administrations, which is really a big move for any personal brand. I think you see this also with Kim Kardashian being influential with presidential administrations. So when a celebrity goes out of their way to court the attention of the most powerful office in a country like the presidency, that's huge for a personal brand. And you see that with Elon Musk. So he's got a lot of tricks up his sleeves, and these are some of the ways that he's been able to build literally probably just the single most valuable personal brand in the world today, the Elon Musk personal brand. And that's made him the world's richest man in the world, at times the #2 richest man in the world, or #3, but somewhere there, top 3 richest guy in the world today, with an unbelievable business empire worth over $1 trillion, and a personal brand that's been responsible for creating and making everything possible. So that's what I had for you today, and you can also grab some of my free downloads that will help you with your own product sales. The links will be in the description.